Geometry Dash always seems to be at its peak. Its community thrived through 7 years of no updates. But nowadays, games have been pushing the boundary of realism. And if RobTop wants to compete with games like Helldivers and Counter-Strike 2, then he's gonna need to make his game more realistic. Today I'm gonna be making all of my icons hyper-realistic, and at the end of the video, I'll test them out in game and see my brother's reaction. First up is my cube. So this is a cat, so we're gonna need cat fur, cat eyes. We're gonna need cat ears. And for one last thing, we're gonna need the mouth. And oh my god, there are a lot of screaming cats. We found it. Nose cat, cat mouth, cat ears. That's not how it's gonna look. We don't need these eyes. Put our first ear in place. And our second ear goes here. And we'll use the liquefy tool to shape the mouth so that it's in line with the original image. It's already looking terrifying. Perfect. Cut out both of the eyes, put the right eye and the left eye in place. I don't like that the eyes are facing different directions, so I'll actually copy and paste one to the other side. And that looks much better. Now it's time to paint in the areas where we'll actually see the fur. I can't get over how scary it is. So with a layer for shading and a layer for highlights, I can go around and make the shading consistent. We'll put some under the nose and the crevice under the mouth. The eyes already have good lighting, but I think the ear might need to be a bit darker. For the highlights, we'll put some of the lighting on top. Add some rim lighting at the top of the ears, make the top of the head a bit brighter, and now we have quite the realistic cat. But there's just one thing missing from the icon, and that's the colors. And I don't know how Geometry Dash's coloring system works, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it right on top. I'll make a solid color layer of the pink, and I'll set it to color. And if I throw in a little bit of these stripes, we have our final product. I cannot wait for my brother to see this. Okay, up next is the ship. I use the ship because back then this was the best one in the game, no competition, don't even ask. Because this ship is a shark, we're gonna look for shark skin. Ooh, I didn't know their skin looked like that. Okay, we're gonna use this one. And while we're waiting for that massive file to download, I'm gonna ask you to like and subscribe. And now that that's downloaded, we're gonna name our file, and then we'll lay it over top. And we'll find the other pieces, like the eyes and teeth. This whole video is just me making monstrosities. I found this great image of a shark mouth and a shark fin. A shark tail, and after renaming all of my layers, I can start dragging them into Photoshop. And just like the other one, we can use warp and liquefy to match the shapes of these pieces. God, that one realistic eye is just... I'll do the same for these other two fins. Now it's time for the tail. You can go ahead and remove the background, liquefy it. Now that one's not perfect, but I'm sure we can make it look good by the end. Now it's time for the skin, which we can also use liquefy for, just so that it looks like the skin is wrapping around the actual icon. Now we can go ahead and paint in the areas that we need. Just gotta trust the process here. And we'll start by merging this tail, and I'll leave that for later because I don't want to deal with it. Go ahead and round these fins out as if they're attached to the bottom of the shark, and this one to the top. I think that these teeth are a bit too rounded. I'll go ahead and flatten them down. Using the same technique as before, we're going to put the lighting in the same kind of area. Highlights on the top with some shading below. And the darker we shade it, the deeper it'll look, depending on how soft your shading is. We can really make this character come to life, which might not be a good idea, but we'll see. Right now, the underbelly has a lot of light, and I'm going to darken it up to make the lighting more coherent. And I'll even make it cast a bit of a shadow. I'm going to move on to coloring this masterpiece of an image. Taking a look at my ship colors, there's a lot we're going to have to change here. Actually, I think I'll make the eyes this golden yellow that we had on our cat. And for now, we'll make the entire shark black and white, so we can recolor it pretty easily. This was the original, and now we have this. I'll go ahead and paint the areas that use this color in the ship. And my brother has no idea that I'm doing this. He is going to be quite confused. I could also line up the color with the contours a bit. And while I'm over here, I'll go ahead and paint the gums back red. Just imagine this cube riding around in this ship. Just because I can't get that color right, I'm gonna go ahead and use camera raw filter. And now I think that's a bit more like our cat. With a little bit of touch-ups, that is our final ship. I can't wait to see what I can make for the ball, because this is just awful. Alright, next up is the ball. We don't need any of this. And it's actually as simple as Googling fuzzy Mario. Yeah, there it is. If you didn't know, this is what it's from. That's the reference. Save this image and drag it in there. And we're done. On to the next one. And now it's time for the wave. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to use it as a reference, but I do want to paint in this style because I think that would be pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and take the color from here, and using the power of the pen tool, I can easily get the outline of this ball. And we can get a selection from that and then hit Control-I to fill it in. Now I'm also going to use the eye color, dot these eyes, and I'll use the white of the eyes to make these. While we're at it, we'll do the same for the teeth. Now I just need to make this mouth mouth shape with this red color. And now we have the outline for our fuzzy. But the way that this render does its shading is pretty interesting. There's this nice bounce light that they have along the underside. I really want to replicate that with mine. Still add in the bounce light in a second, but for now we'll just do the base layer of shading. So I'm gonna deselect that eye, put this one behind, which gives this really nice 3D effect. A darker shadow where they touch, and then add just a little bit of rim lighting. That looks way better than I expected, so let's move on and do the same thing to these teeth. It's pretty similar to the eyes, so I'm just gonna speed through this one. For the mouth, the shadows are gonna be a darker red, and through the lighter areas on the outside here, there's a bit of depth. Now to shade the base, we obviously can't use shadows, so instead I'm gonna individually add highlights. Alright, that didn't take as long as I expected, but now we have one thing left to do. Remember, my icons are actually pink and white, and I don't really like the inside of the mouth being white, and I actually like the colors as they are, because they match the original. I'm gonna leave the black at 1 so that it has a tiny bit of color, and I'm gonna change this ever so slightly until I have a pink glow. I'm gonna use a similar pink for the underside of the eyes. I've also decided that the inside of the mouth would look cool if it was a dark purple, and with a few touch-ups, that's my new ball. And now it's time for the wave, which I just found out the file's called Dart. I'm not gonna explain to you why I use this wave because I don't know either. Now this wave looks alien, so I think a perfect fit for it would be some frog eyes. Now I like these tree frog eyes. They look super vibrant. For some reason I imagine the skin to be like an alligator. I think this one will do just fine. It's super alien-like. And the icon also seems to have horns. So I found this picture of an oddly sad rhino, and this pink gem looks like it would be cool for the center. I just put that eye in place and I'm starting to think this is a mistake. Oh my god. And you've seen me do it a million times now, so we're just gonna skip to the end of this one. Alright, there it is, and this one's just as horrifying as the rest. Excited to add this to my icon set. And now that I think about it, these are not horns, and this thing is not supposed to be outside of the body. It's just to prove how good you are, really.
At Stereo Madness. Oh.
Wait, it looks so stupid.
Oh no. Why does it have a snake eye?
Just try X step. You wouldn't.
What is that supposed to be?
That's my icon. Oh my god.
Why are they all so
This
real?
one is shocking. This one is so weird. Go to blast processing. I'm surprised at the amount of detail. I thought it would be so bad. Oh, you can't see.
I can't.
Ugh.
That thing is gross.
It's like a bug.
It is.
It's terrifying.
I think it is a bug. What are the eyes from? Another shark.
No, that was a tree frog. Yeah, I'm just gonna use those for the rest of time now. I cannot believe how those look. Is there like a way I could zoom in on them? Oh god, that one's horrid. This one's so gross. That's it for this video. If you want to see the rest of the icons, there's 4 more. I'll make a new video on it as long as this does well. So make sure to like, subscribe, and have a good day.